I have been in love with the NBA for almost 20 years. From watching high flyers like Dr. J, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, to even modern day Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Zach LaVine. Watching elite ball handlers like Isaiah Thomas, Allen Iverson, Kyrie Irving. Shooters, Larry Bird, Mark Price, Steph Curry. And what I witnessed tonight was some of the most unwatchable basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. Listen, after game one, I said that may be the best conference finals basketball game I've ever seen. After game two, I thought we could have a legendary series on our hands between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. And after game three, I leave wondering what in the world the NBA is doing with the way they officiate their basketball games. Listen, this has nothing to do with who won the basketball game. Like I said, after game one, I was hyped. After game two, I was hyped. I thought we were going to get a long, competitive 7-game series. But what we love about sports is watching our elite athletes do elite, legendary things. High-flying dunks, crazy dribble moves, clutch shot making, big three-pointers, post play. All of those things, elite defense, all of those things we love about basketball is taken from us when a game has 66 free throws between the two teams, 33 apiece. The third quarter of this basketball game went 45 real-time minutes. From the time the Spurs posted that it was halftime to the time that the third quarter ended was over an hour. It was really, really difficult for me to watch. And I sat there the whole game just wondering how I was going to break down what I was seeing on the court and the performances of the game. But I just left it feeling really down and frustrated with the way that it was officiated. In game one, we had 48 free throws in a game that went to double overtime. In game two, 41 free throws. Tonight, 66. That is incredibly high. In the regular season, the highest average free throw team was 27. And tonight, both teams took 33. The game took forever. It was really slow. There was no rhythm to it. And it felt like all of the things that we love about sports were really taken from us. And this is not particularly, I'm not complaining because of what team won the basketball game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 6 of 17 from the field. And overall, neither team shot very well. We didn't see great performances from Victor Wembanyama. We didn't see great performance from Shai. The game felt like it was all about the free throw game. Who could withstand the physicality that the other team was playing with? And I love physical basketball, but why are we calling so many fouls constantly? It stops the rhythm of the game. Anytime the Thunder start to make a run, there's a foul. Anytime the Spurs start to make a comeback, it's stopped by more fouls. And I don't understand what the NBA is doing when they officiate games in this manner. They have to know that no one enjoys watching a game that goes that long or a game that has that many stoppages. Some of the greatest basketball games you can remember involve elite ball handling from guys like Kyrie Irving or big shots when Steph Curry goes down the court and hits a 30-footer against the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's been so many great moments, but they don't involve the free throw line. And it takes away from the sport. And there's so much talk about where the NBA stands with its fan base and so much negativity on social media. Well, what creates that is when you sit down, and I had both of my brothers over to watch this game with me tonight, or two of my brothers over to watch this game with me tonight. And it was just not an exciting basketball game. We started the game pumped. You get your food, you get your snacks, you sit down and you're ready to enjoy a basketball game. And about midway through the third quarter, you're like, this is just not watchable. It's the longest quarter I've ever experienced in my life. So I'll talk a little bit about the game, but I just wanted to start with the fact that I hope the NBA does something about that. Because under no circumstance do I want to see 66 free throws. And there's so much talk about, the way that the Thunder, foul bait, flail, flop, all those sorts of things. But there were 33 free throws on both sides of this game. So there was just stoppages all around, and it was really, really hard to watch. Before we get into it, make sure you take a second to subscribe to the channel. We just passed 1,400 subscribers, and we're grinding every single game. of the NBA playoffs. So if you love the NBA, make sure you take a second to subscribe. So the Spurs started this game on a 15-0 run. They were up 15-0 a few minutes into this game. Wemby hit a crazy step-back three. De'Aaron Fox looked like he was back and healthy. Devin Vassell, I believe, hit maybe 2 threes, but at least one. And it just felt like there was a ton of momentum for the Spurs. You know, you had a tough loss in Game 2. You get home. And the Oklahoma City Thunder shut that down. They won the rest of the game 123-93, a 30-point advantage for the Thunder from that point on. And they really dominated almost every facet of this basketball game. And it's something that if you're a Spurs fan, you have to be very, very concerned about. The fact that sometimes it doesn't feel like the Spurs are able to generate good looks all of the time. And it comes down to Victor Wembanyama. We've seen him have huge scoring performances, but at the moment it doesn't feel like he has a signature shot that he can get to or goes to, feels confident in when the game is starting to get out of hand. And Stephon Castle was driving to the basket in that third quarter. I think he got fouled on 4 consecutive possessions, including one of them being a flagrant 2. But we left the first half. OKC was up. Sorry, doing the math in my head. 58-51. So they were up 7 points at halftime. And, you know, that's a crazy tournament round from where the game started. Shai had 0 points in the first quarter. And you just started to... first half of basketball was not bad by any means. We had exciting basketball to start the game with what the Spurs were doing. The Thunder came flying back. And, you know, a lot of big shots in this game for the Thunder. Jared McCain had 24 points on 10 of 21 from the field. Felt like they couldn't stop him. Jalen Williams, not J-Dub. J-Dub was out with an injury, but Jalen Williams had 18 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Hit 5 3-pointers. It felt like he just kept hitting big shots. Chet Holmgren had probably his best game of the series. And the Thunder are just able to beat you in so many different ways. And if you're not able to generate a ton of good looks like the Spurs weren't able to tonight, they shot 33 free throws and only scored 108 points. That's pretty tough offensive game. And I would, like I said, I'm very concerned for the Spurs going forward in this series. The Thunder have not really played excellent basketball. We've seen Caruso have big games tonight. Like I said, Jared McCain had a big game. Caruso again had 15. The Spurs strategy to double Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and force these other guys to hit wide open threes to beat them, I don't like, and I don't know why they've stuck with it for so long, because in all 3 games, Alex Caruso has been really good, and Jared McCain was getting open looks tonight. Jalen Williams was getting open looks tonight. And at some point, the Spurs got to change that strategy up because it's not working. You got to guard Shai straight up, hope you can get some stops, force him into some misses, hope the refs aren't blowing the whistle too tightly, and find a way to generate some stops on the rest of these players, because just giving these guys wide open 3-pointers all night has not worked thus far. You're down 2-1. The one game you won went into double overtime, so it's not like you blew them out in that one. You have to switch up your strategy game to game, and that's kind of the difference that you see from good coaches in the NBA. You see Kenny Atkinson for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Through 2 games against the New York Knicks, they have made no adjustments in the fact that every time Jalen Brunson needs a bucket, they try to switch James Harden to defend him. And Jalen Brunson has been scoring at a high clip, and the Cavs have made 0 adjustments in that. Between games 1 and game 2, we saw Mark Dagnall for the Oklahoma City Thunder put Isaiah Hartenstein in the game more, have him just beat the crap out of the San Antonio Spurs. And that was just a big adjustment that the Spurs weren't ready for. And in game 3, they didn't really implement that as much. You just see most teams make adjustments from game to game. I know Mitch Johnson is a young coach, but at some point you have to say, hey, this is not working on the defensive end of the court. The Thunder are scoring at a high clip. When Wemby goes out of the game, the Thunder score almost every possession. Luke Cornett's getting killed. And, you know, the Spurs have been really, really bad with Luke Cornett on the court. I don't know what he was for the game. He was a minus 18 for the game, and honestly, it almost felt worse than that. Wemby was a plus 4 for the game, so you just see the off-on. When Wemby has to go to the bench, it's like the Spurs have no chance to win the basketball game. All in all, I think they're in a tough spot because Stephon Castle was 1 of 8 from the field. We know he's been having turnover problems. He didn't tonight, but he was really struggling from the field. Keldon Johnson off the bench was 1 of 5. You're getting way outplayed from a bench production standpoint, and we knew that would be an issue with De'Aaron Fox hurt. It moves Dylan Harper into your starting lineup, and then Dylan Harper got hurt. You start to worry about, how many guys deep can we go in the bench that are still adequately playing at a high level? And the Spurs are a fairly deep team, but when you compare what the Thunder's bench is doing to what the Spurs bench has done thus far in this series, it's really been the difference in the series so far. So the Spurs are going to have to find a way to generate some offense off of their bench, but also they need consistent scoring from all of their guards. De'Aaron Fox went down with another ankle injury. He finished the game with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Kind of felt like they weren't playing him a ton. There were stretches that it felt like he wasn't in the game very much. Still played 31 minutes, but we'll see what the Spurs adjustments are going into Game 4. Obviously, Game 4 is an absolute must-win for the Spurs. You can't go down 3-1 heading back to Oklahoma City. You've given the Thunder a ton of confidence, and you just see the way that they're playing, like I said, with so much confidence. It feels like they've now really grabbed a hold of this series. And the thing that always happens in the playoffs is the last team that won feels like, how could they ever lose another game? We do feel that a lot, but ultimately, you can make adjustments. The Spurs have plenty of talent, but you do start to see the fact that the Spurs are a very young basketball team. Dylan Harper's a rookie. Stephon Castle's in year 2. Wemby's in year 3. A lot of these guys, even like Keldon Johnson, De'Aaron Fox, don't have... Keldon Johnson, I think, had no playoff experience before this run. De'Aaron Fox just had the one series. So the youth, Carter Bryant didn't play very good tonight. The youth is really starting to show itself in this series for the San Antonio Spurs, and I think it's going to be an issue going forward. But all in all, what I want to see in Game 4 is just more fluid basketball. Let the game play itself out. Let's not have 60-something free throws. That is way too many. Stay in the 40s. It'll be plenty of free throws. The game will stay fluid, and we can continue to enjoy what should be a really good series, for these two very good young basketball teams that are more than likely going to be the future of the Western Conference. Please don't, NBA, detract this series by having the referees be too involved. All in all, that's all I got for you. I was really struggling, in a sense, to talk about this game because the Thunder really were dominating it for the most part, and it was just hard to watch. But I think we broke down some of the things that we could change, hopefully, going into Game 4 in San Antonio. Appreciate y'all watching again. Don't forget to subscribe. Cyborg out.